Board climbing is widely used by a lot of pro athletes because it is known as one of the best ways to develop pure strength and power. We're back to the fundamental series, and today we're covering board climbing. My name is Josh Hadley and I'm here with Jen Wood. Jen is an excellent board climber, much better than myself, so I've got her in today to talk us through the fundamentals of board climbing. We're at the Depot Sheffield today because they've got an excellent variety of training boards from 30 degrees all the way up to 50 degrees.
So before we get to some specific sessions you can do on a board, I'll talk you through some of the key things to remember. So board climbing is normally a really intense session, so it's really important that you're really warmed up. So we recommend doing 5 to 8 board climbs to start your session. These should also be really well-known climbs, as this will help you gauge how you're feeling that day and whether you might need to adjust the intensity of the session. However, if you're new to board climbing or you're on a particularly challenging board, it might be that the easier climbs are already high intensity. In this case, we'd recommend warming up on other climbs around the centre. Okay, so point number 2 is to have a stopwatch handy. Because you don't have to move around the wall between attempts, it's really easy to rush your rest time. Because of the high intensity of these climbs, it's super important to get enough rest between attempts. Specific rest times will vary depending on the session, so watch till the end to find out. Don't focus on the grades on a board. Board climb is a great example where the grades are really subjective. While grades are great for measuring progress, every board will be slightly different. And don't be afraid to drop the grade in order to work on problems that you find hard. Board climbing is very intense. If you're new to board climbing, you won't need to do very much at all to yield really good results. So it's really important to build up the volume slowly. It's all about quality, not quantity with board climbing. Even experienced climbers may only use a board twice a week, so try and gauge what volume yields the best results for you. We can't recommend climbing with other people on a board enough. It really helps you try hard and push you out of your comfort zone with new moves and new hold types. It can also make the session much more enjoyable. But remember not to get carried away if they're much more experienced on the board than you. Remember to finish before you get too fatigued.
The first session we're going to focus on is projecting. This is a form of limit bouldering and it is excellent for working your top end, maximum strength and power development. We're going to manipulate the number of moves and the style of holds in this session to either focus on weaknesses or work towards a specific project. A projecting session is very focused and we're going to be working on 2 to 3 problems in the session maximum. And in each of those, we're going to spend roughly 20 minutes working those. This session is going to need a lot of resting for really high quality attempts, resting somewhere between 3 to 5 minutes. Within a projecting session, we can have 3 different levels or 3 different intentions. First, we're thinking about working limit moves, then we're working limit sequences, and finally, limit boulder problems. Within a projecting session, it's important to include some variety. Although you're going to limit the number of boulder problems you have, try to vary the climbs. So for example, doing something that focuses on pinches, then maybe crimps, or dynamic moves versus small static moves. Lastly, don't get frustrated if you can't climb moves or you don't achieve certain sequences. The aim of this session is to be very high intensity and you're likely to carry through these boulder problems or even single moves into multiple sessions. Our body tension session is a great way to focus on footwork and specific tension moves while climbing hard. Many climbers often choose to jump between holds, and this can be a very efficient movement pattern. However, it often leads climbers to biasing this style of movement and actually lacking the ability to hold really hard tension moves. When the holds get smaller, inevitably you're going to need to require lots of tension to do hard moves. This session is all about your ability to hold tension through your core and legs. For this session, you're going to choose well-known projects you've already completed. However, the aim here is to repeat these projects without cutting loose at all, maintaining tension throughout the whole boulder problem. If you do cut loose, this doesn't count as a completed attempt. To make this challenging, you're looking to doing big moves and getting into extended positions. Remember, holding tension through these moves and not cutting loose. Unlike the projecting session, in this session you're looking at a much higher completion rate of boulder problems. So you're looking to send most of your climbs without cutting loose by the end of this session. This has been the fundamentals of board climbing. If you enjoyed the session, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.